asked me, Pastor Summer, how do you keep praying? Because it seems that in my life, my prayer life stops and starts and stops and starts and stops and starts and stops and starts. And I often respond to them with the illustration of marriage. You don't stop and start a relationship. If a young man is courting a girl and he starts and then he stops, she would say he has no follow through. You see, prayer is nothing but relationship, talking and listening to the Father. And forgive me, keeping your prayer life flowing is as simple as staying engaged in the relationship, that this relationship is something that means something to you, that's important to you, and you want it to stay engaged. But now there's another little truth Paul gives us in our text today. In 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 8, Paul said, in every place of worship, he said, every place of worship, there are places of worship. Now, I want you to notice there are people today that want to act like, oh, we don't need to go to church and we just worship in our house. He said, in every place of worship, there are places of worship. He said, in every place of worship, I want men to pray with their holy hands lifted up to God, free from anger and controversy. That was Nala, by the way. She wants another little treat. I want men to pray with holy hands lifted up to God, free from anger and controversy. Now, Paul said, when you pray, he said, I want you to keep your hands lifted to God. He said, I want you to always live in this attitude of surrender and receiving. And I look at hands lifted up with those two thoughts, surrender and receiving. Like when I think of lifting my hands to God, I think of a little child. I think of my little Shasha when she was tiny, and she would walk up in front of me and she would hold up her hands and say, Daddy, carry. And I remember how much that touched me as a father. So when I lift my hands to my Heavenly Father, Father, carry me. Lord, there's nothing but surrender in my heart. Lord, there's nothing but receiving in my heart. But he said, so I want you to have that attitude in your heart when you pray. And he said, secondly, I want your prayer to be free from anger. Have you ever noticed you really can't pray when you're angry? Now, some people try to, and their prayers turn into curses, and I pray that they die. And, I just don't understand people talking like that to the Father, because you're talking to the Father about his other children. No matter what they've done to you, just like our siblings in a family, no matter what they've done to you, they're still your brothers and sisters. They're still the sons and daughters of your Father. So he said, keep your heart free from anger. Before you go into prayer, calm your heart. If people have hurt your feelings, if you're upset about something, you need to be free from anger. Now, anger is not a sin. God gets angry. Jesus got angry. But when you come to prayer, your time of prayer should be free from anger. Okay, so you have to understand, anger is not something that is a part of our prayer life. And he says, secondly, keep your prayer life free from controversy. Don't bring your controversies into your prayer life. See, all that kind of stuff in your heart just ruins your prayer life. So if you want your prayer life to stay consistent, just keep holy hands lifted to the Lord. Keep all the anger out of your heart when you come to prayer. And keep all the controversy out of your heart as you come to prayer. And remember, this is your time with your Father. Enjoy the time with your Father.